announcement is May 24th, I'm having a fundraiser cocktail party. It's on a Friday. You'll be excused from the field if you want to come. May 24th it'll be just real relaxed, a good time right down here at the Chadwick. The proceeds will go to Inspiring Minds, my youth program, and I'm also going to be giving a percentage of that to It's About the Warrior Foundation. All right, so we're going to play the video. This video you're getting ready to see was of the Pittsburgh Steelers' new draft pick and the linebacker. And it's a whole thing about you can't judge a book by its cover, because I think he was probably the loudest dressed at the draft. It looked like he wore a tuxedo with no tie and his chest completely open. And I'm thinking, man, they got a wild one on their hands. And when I get a chance to hear him speak and listen to his family speak, it's actually opposite. And so it's a 4-minute clip of his family surprising him and talking to him, congratulating him on the draft. And I'm going to talk to you, if you could take a couple notes on what sticks out to you. I'm going to talk to you about a couple things that stick out to me about this very moment that they captured of his family. Katie, can you play that video? So I want to hear real quick in here in Pittsburgh, this is a picture of him and Matty D. Matty D caught him coming home from Nashville. The draft was in Nashville. Matty was in Nashville. I think this was in Pittsburgh, where they both landed in Pittsburgh. And look at Matty D's big old butt, bigger than the first round draft pick linebacker. But anybody in here, anything stick out to you that would be relevant?
The dad didn't give a lot of praise directly to his son.
Bam. That was exactly one of the things I had on my list. There was only a few, but the first one on my list is that his dad had to explain to him that there was times where I never was giving you a lot of praise, but I would go run to your uncle and tell you how great that I thought that you were. I think that's relevant in this business. I had a coach that did that for me in this business. I think that the better that you are at times, the more potential that you have. Your coaches and leaders may have to set a bar so high for you, or not say, man, great job, you did 4,000 this week, if they know in their heart you're better than that you could do 10,000 or you could do X amount. So that was one thing that stuck out. If you guys ever find yourself, doing pretty good, but your coach may think that you got a little bit more in you, don't be surprised if you're not getting patted on the back for doing just good or a little bit better than everybody else if you got some special gifts. Next, there was a couple more that stuck out. Yes, sir.
The mom was tough on him, so she coached him.
That was my number 2. Go ahead. Let me hear it again.
So she coached him hard, building his character, and so that's why he is the way he is, off and on the field.
Yep. So when the mom started crying, he starts bawling and crying. And she said, I know you thought that at times I was really, really hard on you, but it was all for your own benefit. And so I know we got some parents in the room. And I had a conversation with a gentleman we had a chance to have visit our agency. I'll announce it a little bit. And so we were talking about some of the people that make the best influence on your life, that you look back on your life and who's made the biggest impact on your life. Oftentimes those people are the people that were the hardest on you. And you look back on your life, and sometimes the people that were the easiest on you, that you thought were cool, you end up down the road looking and realizing that they were hurting you. Other couple things was the sister talking about how she's seen a lot of ups and downs. When somebody gets drafted, people just think they just somehow popped up there, or a guy just walked in with a nice suit and tie. What you don't see is the process that it took for a person to get there. I think success is a bad teacher. It's almost harder to understand the ups than it is the downs. I don't know anybody super successful that's ever had an up life without overcoming the downs. And the way that you get to have an up life is the way that you handle the downs. Everybody has ups and downs. There's people on the street walking around, there's people that you'll bump into in the mall, and you never know what a person's story is. Sometimes the person that looks one way had a completely different life that you would ever imagine until you start talking to those people. But one thing that I've seen from people that have success in any field, from starting a youth program, building a church, pastors that I know, to people that run businesses, there isn't anybody that's accomplished anything great without being able to handle the downs and find a way to bring themselves back up. See, we get a chance to watch a kid get drafted, but there's been a whole lot of things that have happened in his life that's given him an opportunity for this one very moment that the whole world is there to see, thinking he just got lucky. Another thing is his family. None of them talked about, man, this was great, how many touchdowns that you had, or the one-handed pass I remember, and the whole family broke down. All the family was talking about and crying about was the person that he was. And so it's not so much of what you're getting, but it's a lot to do with who you're becoming on your journey. And so I want you to take a snapshot, as in, I didn't tell JB to start off like that. I didn't bring that up to JB this morning, who announced that the mission of our organization is to help people mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. What that is I'm talking about the whole thought process, and the mindset was to build a person. And by building people, we'll be able to build the business. We'll be able to build multiple businesses, impact many people's lives. So I want you to take a look at who it is that you're becoming in the process of what you're doing. Because you can get accustomed to people patting you on the back, or finding your happiness or failures or successes in what it is that you do. But it's not about what you do, it's about who you're becoming on the journey of what you do. Mentor of mine, Jim Surace, had g.r.i.n.d. come in and speak at one point. He played for the New England Patriots and won multiple Super Bowls. And he said that the first time they had a major Super Bowl, this Agency of the Year award, I feel like feels the best out of the 3 that I've been able to represent for you all over the last 8 years internationally for this company. And I think it has a lot to do with me understanding this parallel. And so g.r.i.n.d. got up there and spoke, and he said the first Super Bowl, all the confetti came down, everything, and I was waiting for this amazing feeling, and there was nothing. So we won the Super Bowl, supposed to be outstanding. I didn't have any overwhelming emotion. That was unbelievable. So he said, next time I'm thinking, man, if I get a chance, maybe I didn't sit back far enough and take it all in so I can appreciate the moment. So here they come back, they win another Super Bowl. He sits out in the back, watches it all happen, sits there, nothing. So he said, what I ended up realizing over time is that I was never going to find my happiness in only playing football or winning a championship in football. It was going to be more to impact other people's lives. And what am I doing with what God has blessed me with? And so I want you guys to look at, what is it that you're doing for other people? Who is it that you're becoming? And now, what I want to talk about also in addition to this is what this young man, I played with some of the best athletes in the world, and some of the best athletes don't always end up in the best position. First round draft pick for my favorite team last year was a 2-time walk-on. Number 1 draft pick, walk-on. Nobody wanted him. Walk-on mentality. These people that are up here, you think it's just a God-given gifts, but more often than not, it's a supplement to that God-given gift of what you're doing, because hard work beats talent when talent don't work hard. So here's some things that it takes in order to make it to the pros in this business or any other business. Number 1 on the list is sacrifice. Next thing is working on the person that you're becoming. We talked about that. Work on who you're becoming internally. Third thing was allowing tough coaching. I don't know about you guys, maybe all your coaches at Pitt were just saints. But I know my coaches, some of my favorite coaches, were the ones that made you grind and push and run until you think you couldn't run anymore. And then I just want to close on this. The guy the coach that asked for that painting, he sent me a scripture this morning. Brian Merrill, his brother's the coach, one of the coaches at Kentucky right now, and it was Galatians 6:9, and it said, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." And so there's times in your life where if you're helping people or you're serving people or you're doing work good, you start to get drained and tired because you may not feel appreciated. You may not see the harvest. You're not reaping what it is that you're putting in. But I want to encourage you because it encouraged me. Galatians 6:9, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. So don't give up. Keep doing. Keep fighting a good fight. Appreciate you guys. Let's rock and roll.